What does the GTI Edition 50 Performance Pack actually give you? And as you can see here, here's the GTI Edition 50 fitted with the Performance Pack actually. This is from another film, which I'll leave in the description actually as well. It's a really good little test of the car, as you can see here in dark moss green metallic. Oh, a little bit too dark if I pause it there. What does the Performance Pack actually give you? Also around my sort of feelings around you've got to go for the Performance Pack. That's kind of what this little video is going to explain. I've had so many people reach out around getting a 50th, this cool hot hatch, 325 horsepower. And I've spoken to people who've said they've ordered it without, and I've spoken to people who've ordered it with. Now, let's just go straight away to the basics before I go really in depth actually, because there's some real intricacies about the GTI 50 performance package. For me, if you want a quick summary, you've got to go for the performance package. It is almost 100% must. And for me, that's because if you go for a normal GTI Edition 50 without the performance package, you're essentially getting a standard GTI Club Sport with an extra 25 PS. That's all you're getting. You're not really getting that proper exclusive stuff. And the performance package is much more than what is said here. So this is on the UK configurator. The performance package costing an extra £3,675 on top of the £48,000 sort of RRP price. I personally believe it should be standard. You know, you got to go for it. You get the 19-inch Varminor wheels, which are lightweight, which would cost you money anyway. You get, well, I'll come on to this in a second because there's some details which actually came from that other video that I'm going to go back to. The R Performance Akrapovic exhaust system, rear muffler in titanium. Again, that's lightweight. And again, Volkswagen charge about that much for it anyway, for just the exhaust. So to get the exhaust and then wheels, Varminor wheels, lightweight, I mean, they've got to be, you know, 1,500 quid. Shock absorption in the front, and it says performance suspension, vehicle body lowered. And then it goes through sort of the stuff there. It also says you get the special sort of race tyre, which is which basically come fitted with the car. It's basically like a slick tyre. That again costs more because it's more, well, slick essentially. Performance suspension, it sort of just says vehicle body lowered and it's sort of down by 15mm. But what does that actually mean? What's that actually going to give you? Because on the face of it, the performance package, 19-inch wheels, Akrapovic exhaust, what's the difference? You know, really, what's the difference between that and a Club Sport fitted with those options? And that's the reason why it kind of be like, if you're looking to order it, you could be like, well, I'll miss out on the performance package because I don't need those. Well, in this video here, which is really, really helpful, and actually I'll pause it at the bit that they said, and you can see it's sort of gone up high because that's what people have read. I feel it's really useful. I'll try and get it so it's not as blurred out. Has he done it? Yeah, there we go. So, performance package overview. This is the best demonstration diagram that I have seen yet, and I've gone through a lot of videos on my channel around this car. And this is the best to share it. This is the best, basically. And by the way, I've actually got I've had a subscriber reach out to me, someone I know, and essentially their good friend is collecting a 50th in the UK in April, and I'm going to go to that collection. So that's going to be super exciting to share on the channel. So yeah, subscribe if you kind of want to see that. It'll probably be one of the early ones as well. So performance package overview: front axle, stiffer springs. And I don't know, I can't know the German word, but the frequency equals 1-9 hertz. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. Minus 5mm reduced ride height. There you go. Stiffer control arm bushings. So it's actually giving you some is it that hardware? I mean, you let me know in the comments, or is that just software? I personally think that's actually really giving you something special. Specific data sets for steering system, DCC, which is the dynamic chassis control, vehicle dynamics manager, and stability control systems. That is really important. Yes, it's all electronical, but it will all work in combination with the other stuff. DCC is standard with the GTI Edition 50. That is one thing. All these, but stability control, the traction control, everything is going to be linked to this. And this has been tested so much by Benny Leuter, who, you know, yeah, he does repost some of my posts on Instagram, which is really helpful. I'll give you a follow on Instagram if you want to. It's at SamAustin657. That comes as part of it. None of this is sort of said in that sort of like initial, you know, if you're ordering the car, you don't know it. Stiffer top mounts. Wheel carrier, increased camber -2 degrees. The camber and the setup of the car is so crucial. So crucial. And, you know, you just got to go for the performance pack. I mean, if this doesn't convince you, nothing will. So, and ultimately, it is your money, you know, spend it how you like. But this is just, yeah, I'm offering the invitation of this is what the performance package offers. So that's the front axle. Go to the rear axle. Wheel carrier and track rod with optimized geometry for higher stiffness. Remember, this is all specific performance package. This isn't anything to do with, you know, just getting a GTI 50. This is specific performance package. You will not have any of this if you do not go for the performance package. Could you potentially set this up afterwards? Maybe with the electronic systems, but I don't know if that's like, you know, if you're going to do anything after, you might as well just go for the package. And the fact that you obviously get the Akrapovic exhaust, the Varmanor wheels, you know, lightweight. And lightweight wheels do make a difference. I've driven this car a lot on the channel. And in terms of the GTI Club Sport, I hope to drive the Edition 50 in the future. And lightweight wheels, funnily enough, make the steering different and felt quite good, actually. Going on, stiffer springs, frequency equals 2.1 hertz, 5mm reduced ride height. Remember, this is on the rear axle. Stiffer top mount again. Bridgestone Potenza Race 235/35 section R19, newly developed with VW specification and the wheel Varmanor or Varmaneu. My friend told me it was Varmanor, so I'm going to go with that. Tyres, suspension, camber, setup, weight, which all of this has here with the R performance exhaust system, the Akrapovic, makes a bigger difference than anything in terms of the feel of the car. It's a must. That is what you get from the performance package, whether in the UK, Germany, or any other region. That is what you get. If we scroll on a little bit further, because very kindly in this video, they mention a few other things here. And it just says a little bit of the difference between a Golf GTI, a GTI Club Sport, a GTI Edition 50, and the GTI Edition 50 performance package. Now, I have driven a GTI and a GTI Club Sport on the channel. GTI is 265 PS, 0-65.9 seconds, top speed of 250 kilometers an hour, or torque 370 newton meters, between 1600 and 4500 RPM. And then I think that says camber. It doesn't actually say there, but it just says minus 0.68 degrees. That's probably the setup. Minus 15mm in ride height, essentially. Up to 19-inch wheels, 1,460 kilos. The Club Sport goes up from 265 PS to 300 PS or 221 kilowatts, 0-65.6 seconds, 250 kilometers an hour, 400 newton meters of torque between 2,000 and 5,200 RPM, minus 1.33 degree. I think that's camber. I can't see it because it hasn't says it there. Minus 15mm in ride height, up to 19-inch wheels, 1459 kilograms. The GTI Edition 50 without the performance package, 239 kilowatts, 325 PS, 0-65.3 seconds, so they're all going down by 0.3, 270 kilometers an hour, so top speed, so that's higher, 420 newton meters of torque, so only slightly more, 20 newton meters more, between 2,000 and 5,500 RPM, so you've got to rev it out higher to get that last bit of torque, basically. Minus 1.33 degree, minus 15 millimeters, 19-inch Queenstown wheels, 1,470 kilograms. So bear in mind, that's an extra 10-11 kilos. Do you know why it's an extra 10-11 kilos? Because there's probably more in it, I'm guessing. You know, maybe more in that engine to give it that more power. I don't know. But maybe it's just a tune. Maybe they've added something to give it that extra kick. Maybe it's more in keeping with the Golf R. And by the way, obviously I've paused this for you guys to read through it too. That's why I'm doing this video. We go to the beautiful car in dark moss green metallic. Golf GTI Edition 50 performance package, 239 kilowatts, 325 PS, nothing changes. 0-63 of 5.3, nothing changes. 270 kilometers an hour top speed, nothing changes. 420 newton meters worth of torque, nothing changes. 2000 to 5500 RPM. -2 degree. So that's going to be something to do with the setup on the camber, basically, which is kind of what I shared before. And in fact, actually, if we go back to that, yeah, -2 degree increased camber. So it is to do with the camber. That's what that is. So it's a big difference. Look at that, -2 compared to -0.68 from the GTI. But then equally, you're getting on this GTI Edition 50 exactly the same as the Club Sport, except it weighs a bit more. Does that counteract for the power? I don't know. And the 19-inch Varminal wheels. Bear in mind, you can expect the GTI Edition 50 without the performance package. I don't know if you can spec it with yeah, actually, you need... if you're going to get the Akrapovic exhaust and the Varminal wheels, you're getting the performance package, you're getting all the setup. 1,445 kilos. It apparently weighs less than a standard Golf GTI, which I am surprised about. But then I guess if you fitted a Golf GTI with that exhaust and the Varminal wheels, if you could, a standard car, maybe it could get a little bit lighter. On the right, it says about max driving fun. That's what it is about the GTI Edition 50. -15mm. Okay, yeah, sorry. So this is the bigger change. The GTI Edition 50, -15mm, which incidentally it says is the same as the standard Golf GTI Mark 8.5 and the standard Mark 8.5 GTI Club Sport, interestingly. And then it's got the 1.5 hertz and the 1.8 hertz, -1.33 degrees to 1.75 degrees. So that's interesting how it's saying that, because it's a little bit different to on the left. Whereas the GTI Edition 50 performance package gives you that 325 PS. It gives you, because it's even literally overlapping on the Club Sport, because it's exactly the same if you do not go for the performance package. 325 PS. -20mm. 1.9 hertz to 2.1 hertz. -2 over -1.75 in terms of the camber. That is what you're getting different. That is basically it on this super cool, amazing GTI Edition 50. So that gives you in depth the performance package for the GTI Edition 50. And yeah, I believe they tested it, as you can see here. It said it did it in 5.3. They were sort of doing it in 5 seconds. I think they might have done a one which actually dipped below 5. It was like 4 point something. It will say it on the screen if he does another little launch. It was like 4.9 something on launch control. Bear in mind, it's a front wheel drive car, so you're going to be spinning up with those. But yeah, 4.9 is what they did it in. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, or 0 to 62 miles an hour in the UK. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you out in terms of the performance package. I think it's a must to go for, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Oh, watch out for that tractor, mate.